Good afternoon. I'm Lucas Panzica from the 104.5 The Zone Studios as the Tennessee Titans are 5-9 after a 19-16 overtime loss against the Houston Texans Sunday at Nissan Stadium. The loss officially eliminates the Titans from playoff contention. Rookie quarterback Will Levis left the game injured at the end of it. Ian Rappaport reporting this morning it was a sprained ankle for Levis. Mike Vrabel, meeting with the media earlier today, was asked about the approach with Levis this week at practice.
It's Monday right now. He's sore, obviously, like a lot of guys, and we'll see, how things go.
Titans will be at home again next Sunday hosting the Seattle Seahawks on Christmas Eve. Tonight, it's an NFC matchup on Monday Night Football. The 10-4 Eagles are at the 6-7 Seahawks. Both quarterbacks questionable for this one, and Jalen Hurts and Geno Smith. Kickoff is at 7:15. You can catch the Westwood One coverage right here on The Zone. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
All right, let's do this. Let's just roll into Monday. Phone lines wide open, 615-737-1045. Didn't go well yesterday on the field for these Tennessee Titan Oilers, Blaine. They lost that game that way in those uniforms to that team. Sure, there was some hand-wringing in Houston with the Adams family, but an overtime loss to the Texans on a long field goal, essentially at the end of the game after a long and hard-to-watch at times game. But Titans eliminated from playoff contention. They were pretty close. As long as they were winning, they could kind of at least hold on to the end of that rope, but officially eliminated, and they got 3 games left. So where do we go from here? But I know you've had a chance to kind of digest what you've seen, and I always love to get your thoughts as we start the Monday show on what you saw on Sunday.
Well, first of all, I hope everybody's weekend went well. Let's first start off at the beginning of the game. The tribute to my former teammate Frank Wycheck and Eddie and Dyson and Zach doing a great job there. And, White Shoes getting honored too as well. So, just really on a positive note, I thought both of those things went really well. And, and then having the decals on the helmets with 89 was really cool. And then having, the video, a tribute to him and the voice of the Titans, yours truly, Mike Keith, doing an exceptional job of narrating all of that. So, yeah, that was first and foremost in my mind throughout that game without really paying attention to the game like that. So now you look at the game. The Texans, which was a huge game, and everybody from Houston is making fun of, not since they won, the hat that Mike Vrabel wore to the game in honor of Bun Phillips and everything else, but which is all fun and games with the fans and everything else. It was a tough game. I thought it'd be a close game. I was hoping the Titans would win. I'm really concerned. I think now we're finding out Levis is somewhat an ankle injury. I went back and watched the game just actually right before I got here. I wanted to see the end. Mm-hmm. They did work with his ankle. I thought it was more knee-driven, just off the cuff, seeing it there since we were there. But it was his ankle. I don't know the extent of the injury or anything like that. Just hoping that he's capable of playing. But if he is not capable and he can't be Will Levis, I would not play him. Don't know the extent of the injury. Mm-hmm. Just giving you my thoughts on that. First on, since we're talking about Levis and the offense, I thought they were a little off a little bit. But the first drive, I think they drove down 80 yards the first drive.
83 yards and 11 plays.
Yeah, 11 plays. And I think they had a total of 80 yards in the second half. So that tells you everything. So everything continues to go down the same platform. That I said, I don't know if it's Kelly or if it's Vrabel telling him to run the ball in the second half. But it's a drastic difference. And when you're up by 13-3, I think, at halftime, I'm doing off the cuff, then all of a sudden you go into this shell. Now, some of it is because he threw an interception. It was a bad interception. And guess what? I'm willing to live with that because I know where we're at as a team. Mm-hmm. And I need to continue to develop them. I don't think Vrabel looks at it that way. I think, and then they go into a shell and they kept running to a brick wall with the king, which was absolutely crazy to me. But, hey, that's what they do. And, one thing is really clear. Vrabel's the head coach, but Vrabel is the reason why, to me, that the offense looks how it looks. Because there's no way Kelly can drive them down the first series of the game and then come back in the second half and they look how they look. All because the quarterback made a mistake and made a bad throw. They did not lose. And by the way, let's go back to the game before where he threw a couple picks or, made mistakes. And then he continued to play mental toughness and then drove them down to win the game. Only because, my question there at the pregame was because you let him loose because you had no choice. Mm-hmm. This time he had a choice. And he made the choice of who he is, and that's to go back to conservatism in the second half after he threw a pick. So that's kind of how I look at it. O-line didn't play very well, obviously. These are, all low-hanging fruit. I mean, but there was some positives. Pick sick by Molding. By the way, Garrett was not returning punts. I don't think anybody's talking about that. Kinsey did. So if Vrabel had an option, he would have took Garrett out in that game and put Phillips in there. But Phillips got hurt in the Dolphins game. So that's what that told me there. Burks had contributions, so that's good. Let's see if we can continue that throughout the end of this season, whoever's at quarterback. Missed extra point. Cost him. My man McCrary, who I love and I thought played solid, missed the interception. There was Schultz, who took it out of his hands right there in regulation. These are critical plays, not at the end of the game, but, some of them were, some were not. I just thought the second half was stagnant. I think that's really, why they lost. I really thought the players played hard. So you can definitely say that they have some pride in themselves, and they played really hard and tried to win this game. Just didn't come through and, made some mistakes. Gave up 7 sacks. As I said, the old line was horrible. But Autry's having a career year. It's 11 sacks. Highest in his ever, he said. The Titans have given up, I saw this stat, 50 sacks in 17 games, which is more than last season. So it's almost like we could say Twice Daily is still on the team and they're worse. That's what that tells me. And then this will be the second season in a row that Vrabel will not make the playoffs in his era.
And a losing record. Good point. So that's kind of in a nutshell. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't stop the run. Yeah. Oh, Tart, where are you, Tart? Oh, we doing Pop-Tarts? No. Yeah, they couldn't stop the run, and they couldn't run. Elements of not a very good team. Can't stop the run, and you can't run the football. I've said this going into every game because that's the defensive mindset of a head coach who's a defensive guy. You never win those games. Texans were the better team, and they did it with their backups, mostly at critical positions. Don't talk about any experience. So at the end of the day, they still beat you in your house. So that, to me, and that shows what happened. Other than that, but can't change your stripes. So it is what it is. What's your thoughts there, Mickey? What'd you think?
Garrett also dropped an interception.
Oh, he did. I just saw it again. Dead in his hands. Great play by him. Got a PBU.
Yeah.
But it could have changed the course of the game. Yes, it could have. Oh, by the way, because why? Fulton's injured. Baltine got hurt.
Yeah.
And now you have a 5'8" corner outside who is tough that you depended on, remember, because you took him off punts. He could have went into a shell, but he didn't. See what I'm saying? You never know. You're going to need the guy. Yeah. So, yeah, he dropped a pick. So, yeah, it was a tough play, but it was one I thought he should have made.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you.
The Titans, as you said, scored on their opening drive. They went 83 yards. They only scored 3 more points on offense after that. They had 204 total yards. 83 came on the first drive. 83 of 204 came on the first drive of the game. They had 14 first downs in the game. They only ran for 66. Derrick Henry was 16 carries for 9 yards. As you mentioned, the Texans, no Stroud, no Cashman, no Thomas, no Collins, no Will Anderson, no George Fant. No problem. Case Keenum was able to get it done.
35-year-old Case Keenum.
35-year-old journeyman Case Keenum. He was their number 3 quarterback on Monday when we all woke up this same time last week. The Texans had 340 yards. Devin Singletary ran 26 for 121. And Noah Brown, who I really had to look to even just look on, he was 8 for 82 and a touchdown in that game.
He looked really good.
He looks great.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tyjae Spears should be getting a lot more opportunities than what he's getting just because of his skill set. It at least gives him a chance to get away from people who are right there in his face.
Because his skill set is different
than Derek's.
So with the line not being, he can't even get back to the line because of the way he runs. He gets to going as, yardage, as he goes. But Spears, to me, finds creases, and he hits the hole harder.
Yeah.
I mean, faster.
Yeah.
Faster. Because he's a more explosive, small, darty guy. So, yeah, it's pretty clear. That was clear in this game.
And special teams to me, I mean, we can talk about the defense. They couldn't stop the run. And everybody wants to talk about the offense. And Joseph did a breakdown that we'll get to. He broke down what they did on first down. And it's going to make you as PO'd as you were yesterday watching the game or being at the game. But special teams has really let them down again. They missed an extra point, as Blaine said. Their last drive in overtime, they had a punt return to the Texans 46, but it got called back because of a holding call, I believe, on JoJo Doman, who they just picked up. So that took 47. Them back to their own 37. They were in Texans territory and fairly close to field goal range. So a missed extra point, a holding call that just buried him on the last one, and the return yardage was 104 for the Texans to 36 for the Titans. And in a game like that where everything comes down to scratch and claw, literally it came down to the last play of overtime. They were outgained so much in returns. And the punter, I thought, did a good job. The punter that they picked up, he's been fine. But they had trouble covering kicks yesterday a couple times, kickoffs and punts, and there was just hidden yardage there that they needed, but not – it just seemed like so many people had a chance to just make one. They just needed one play, and they just couldn't make one play.
You mentioned sound of young players and not a very good team.
Yeah.
Did you find a way not to win the game?
And credit
that happened. I've been on teams like that.
Sure, and I'll credit to D'Amico Ryans. That was a mass unit he brought in here. They found a way to win.
Yeah.
So credit to them for doing what they had to do.
What did you think about Will Levis's play in this game? He was 17 for 26, 199. 72% passer rating. I think he was 8 for 9 at halftime, by the way.
He went 4 for 4 on that first drive.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, to be honest, it feels like they always do well on the first drive. I may be wrong on that.
No, you're right.
Every other game or something. They
it feels like
well.
that. The one thing that I think he could do is, and it's funny, though, because I'm thinking there were a couple times I thought, throw the ball, throw it, and then he gets sacked. Mike Vrabel said this twice. He said it yesterday, he said it today. We have to have receivers who get into their breaks and into their routes faster than what they did. So I don't have the all-22. I don't know if there were times where Levis wanted to throw it and everybody's back was to him. I don't know. But there were times I thought he just could have gotten rid of the ball to maybe or stepped out of trouble. But he didn't have much of a chance yesterday.
Oh, boy, the O-line between – hey, I saw Skoronski get run right through a couple times. I was like, this looked like trouble. Him and Duncan. Wait, that's his name?
Oh, yeah.
it was weird.
I showed Mickey a video today.
Oh, like, how do you run through a 300-pound man, another 300 what? I was stunned.
It looked like Red Rover out there at times.
I was stunned.
I showed Mickey a video this morning of them double-teaming one guy. Looked like Skoronski was chipping, then going to the second level. Duncan just stood there, and he split him and hit Derrick Henry
Yeah, I
like 3
saw that
yards
video.
in the
Who put that
backfield.
out? Because I saw that, too.
I don't remember.
I watched it multiple times. And then they both went to the second level acting like they got the block.
Yeah,
like,
they did.
Somebody was supposed to get him.
I'll find where that video was and see if we can give credit. But, yeah, that was not a good video. Not a good rep.
Yeah, so it was tough sledding there, man. It was just bad all around. But the guys, I thought, gave great effort. So, you don't get a cookie for making millions and giving effort. But the effort's there. They just got to hone in, as Mickey mentioned, on some of those. Maybe they could just make one play. But that's the way it is. Usually they're always on the other end of that with the winning seasons Vrabel was in, not the losing ones.
You're right.
Really tough.
Young team, bad team,
Because you're almost there.
Over and over again.
Yeah, but see, you gotta got to go through these hurdles here, these failures to when you're with a young team that's really the nucleus of your team, that especially at the quarterback position, to then turn the page. And that's why you wanted Levis out there sooner than later, so you can keep up with the AFC South. By the way, everybody else is 8-6 except for the Titans.
Yeah.
And they all have young quarterbacks too.
All right, we got young Sam Phalen set to join us next. We'll get his observations from A to Z Sports. He was obviously at the game yesterday and the post game yesterday. We'll get his thoughts on everything that he heard. Then we will get to your thoughts. We have Ding Dong coming up in hour number 2, Ding Dong of the Week. Other than that, we can do a lot of therapy, a lot of phone calls, get your thoughts on everything today as well. Blaine and Mickey, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. Man, lots of people. The F&M Bank chatting. Sam Phalen should be on with us in a minute. Let's take one of these other phone calls quick, Blaino. Let's get Kevin in West Fulton. He'll get us rocking and primed up for Sam's call. What's up, Kevin?
Hey, not much, guys. Just thoughts about this game. With the way we played against Miami, I think the offense and the offense coordinator they didn't expect to win, so they were more free in their play calling. With the thing we had that happened last night, I know a lot of people are saying give Vrabel another year. Why? Last night was a pure indication of a coaching problem, and it's the same coaching problem that has been costing us for the last 2 seasons. So it's time he's on the hot seat.
I think a lot of people wonder appreciate the phone call, Kevin. I think a lot of people look at that and think, okay, when might he be on the hot seat if he's not already? But let's bring
my perspective on we could get Sam Phalen. Go ahead, you about to bring Sam in on?
Yeah, we'll just conference Sam in here with us. Sam
some of these
Phalen
questions by the callers too.
A to Z Sports. Sam had a caller and said, "Hey man, at this point, what are you getting from Mike Vrabel? Essentially, like, shouldn't his seat be hot by now?"
Man, this is my takeaway, Mickey, and I know it's not what Titans fans want to hear coming out of that loss yesterday. I don't put a ton of what happened yesterday on Mike Vrabel or on Tim Kelly at this point. I think you have to look at this roster and what they are able to do as a play caller or as a head coach in terms of, like, their game plan, and understand that if you're not really able to execute the run or the pass, you're very limited in kind of what you can call. So, Mike Vrabel does deserve some level of accountability for the roster, right? We know that he had a hand in assembling this group this past offseason, especially. But at the end of the day, I don't think that burden lies fully on his shoulders just yet. And so I don't think his seat is hot, and I don't think it will be hot. I think if this happens next year, now we're in a different conversation, because now he's had 2 off seasons with Rand Carthon to build a roster in his image that he thinks can win. And if he doesn't do that with the resources that the Titans have this offseason, now you start to have a different conversation about Mike Vrabel.
To all the people, though, who were standing on their seats booing and being mad when they kept running the ball, though, into the teeth of that defense on first down with Derrick Henry, how do you kind of balance that out with, placing blame or where you think that came from?
Well, I think what Mike Vrabel said after the game is important, which is, number one, they need to establish the run. And so I think it's easy in hindsight, right? It's easy when it's not working. But I think those same fans that are sitting here booing that they keep handing the ball off to Derrick Henry are probably the same fans who are, standing on their seat saying, why are you going away from Derrick Henry? Why is he only getting 12 touches earlier in the season? I mean, it's so easy to look at the results and criticize based on results. But I do think, right, the biggest gains of the day for the Titans came on play-action passes to Treylon Burks. They came on a hit to DeAndre Hopkins over the linebackers on play-action. You can't set up play-action if you're never running the ball. And so what's tough is they couldn't block the run all day, and they couldn't pass protect in the second half. And so Will Levis couldn't play a drop-back passing game. And so there are so many issues here for both this offensive line, which is where I think it starts, and then in the personnel you have in terms of, like, hey, can wide receivers get open quickly to do a short passing game, get the ball out of Will Levis's hands quickly? I'm not sure how else they're supposed to balance that. You have to try to at least get some positive production. If anything, the only thing I would say is maybe you have to go to Tajay Spears earlier, because maybe his ability to make that first guy miss is something that they could have used that Derrick Henry couldn't provide them yesterday.
Sam Phalen, our guest at Sam_Phalen, A to Z Sports, of course, where he does his coverage of the Tennessee Titans.
All right. I'm going to have Bananas read something to you, and then I want you to then give me your take on it.
So I did some number crunching this morning about first down play calling with the Titans. They had 24 first down plays in the game against the Texans. 15 of those were runs for -2 yards. Henry got the ball on 63% of first downs. 50% of the time he was running. on those first down plays.
So when you hear that, what do you think, Sam?
I hear that, the Titans are trying to I think they're terrified, frankly, of what they are in pass protection. And I think they are trying to set up the play action on second and third down by running on first down. Now, the frequency of it is not something unusual to what we've seen them do in the past. I just think they didn't block it as well as they have in the past. And when you don't block it well, they don't block anything well is the problem. It's not that they just don't block for Derrick Henry. Tajay Spears had -4 rushing yards on first down. They're outside of the one play-action pass to Treylon Burks on first down. Their passing plays on first down didn't work at all yesterday.
And see, this is where I think goes on the coaches. You just made my point. Then they should have been play-action passing on first down, faking to Henry because everybody's already knowing he's going to get the ball. You set it up that way, and they should have been. So it does go on the coaches. And number 2, you should have put in 2 tight end sets and helped your tackles, and then now your quarterback doesn't get hit, and then now you have plenty of time to throw the ball down the field. So I think 50-50 players, 50-50 coaching. That's it to me.
I do agree with the tight ends, right? But then that's the benefit of play action, right? And how they could use more play action because you give yourself max protection, which, helps out.
Then you got a safety valve to leak out if you get in trouble. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. But at what point, right, does play action, it's not like this is a ton of plays here. This is not a huge sample size. How many of those are runs, right? So maybe they had 11 or 12 first down runs with Derrick Henry. How
they could have changed the game, though.
Sorry?
It could have changed the game, though. I mean, it seemed like as soon as he came in, they were just up. They're going to run the ball. Run, pass.
We also are forgetting Will Levis. I mean, I'm a Will Levis guy. He missed a bunch of throws yesterday that changed that game if he hits them. And you're probably not talking about the same unproductive offense if he hits Treylon Burks on the seam, if he hits if he hits DeAndre Hopkins or throws him a better ball across the middle on one of those deep balls here. I don't think the quarterback played particularly well. I think there's a lot more that goes into it, though, than just they need to not run the ball quite as much, because at what point does that play action, there's nobody biting on that if you're not running the ball with Derrick Henry on first down?
But I think it always works hand in hand. And reason why I say it's 50-50 is because it seems like in the second half, I'd love to get your opinion, that the offense becomes very stagnant, almost like 2 different people are making calls. And I say 2 different people because it's almost not normal that this consistently happens. They go into a cave and get very conservative when they get a lead. And then it's almost like somebody saying, run the ball. Not telling you to run any plays, but let's run the ball.
I fully agree with that idea. And I think that's something they've done all year, and even dating back to last year. They
yes.
You see they're very comfortable playing from behind and letting Will Levis throw it around when they're behind. And then as soon as they get a lead, it's like they kind of pump the brakes and say, all right, let's take care of the football. Let's chew clock. And it is a little counterintuitive, right? Because you think you got to take care of the ball and chew clock by running the ball. But if you're getting a 3 and out, how much clock are you really chewing? So it is counterintuitive. And I've been saying all year, that's something I will absolutely give you, Blaine. They need to let Will Levis throw the ball down the field and push the ball down the field more frequently. And it's something that they don't tend to do very often when they have a lead late in the game.
Yeah, no doubt. I completely agree with that. And you got to let him continue to grow and make mistakes. As painful as it'll be, just like you talked about, there were some inaccurate throws, and he made mistakes. He owns up to them, and nobody plays perfect. And I think that's what happens from the coaching staff is they want you to be so perfect. This game is an imperfect game. Brett Favre wouldn't have turned into Brett Favre. Peyton Manning wouldn't have turned into Peyton Manning. He still holds the record for most interceptions as a rookie, I think. Yeah, so, I mean, so there's a part of me that, you got to go through some growing pains.
Josh Allen, too. I mean,
Josh Allen, he's still throwing picks. Had a good game last week.
Interception after interception, but if you can create quick offense and hit a couple big plays, you're going to score a lot of points, too, and give yourself a chance to win.
So if they don't run the gauntlet, you still believe that Coach Vrabel is not on the hot seat if they lose the rest of these games?
I kind of expect them to lose the rest of the games, and I don't think so. And I know Titans fans are going to call for his head. They want him gone. They're not happy with the losing. I don't think anybody's happy with the losing, but I would also tell you, like, let's look back to last offseason. Let's look back at where we were at the end of last year, where the Titans had a disappointing finish to the season, but you said there's issues on the offensive line. There's issues with the quarterback. They need wide receiver help. Your secondary was thin. They had to address so much and didn't really have any draft picks or any capital to do it because of where John Robinson left them. So Rand came in, made some of the easy cuts of guys like Robert Woods and cleared some of the money. And then they used that to the best of their ability to try and address the issues. And they had to go bargain bin hunting for some of these guys. You had to go get Daniel Brunskill. You had to go get Arden Key and Aziz and guys that Rand was familiar with to be a scheme fit, but not exactly shopping at the top of the market. So I don't necessarily hold that against Rand or Vrabel, that they weren't able to fix all of the problems in one offseason, given what was at their disposal. And I think you look at the draft and you say, hey, maybe they hit on the quarterback. Maybe they hit on Tajay Spears. Rough day for Peter Skoronski yesterday. I think overall he has been a pretty positive sign for this offensive line. And so I think he gets another offseason. Him and Rand together get another offseason of saying, hey, take your 6 picks. Take your $90 million or whatever it is, most cap space in the NFL. Go fix the offensive line. Go fix the issues. Now you know where your deficiencies are. And if you don't do it then, maybe enough is enough for Amy Adams-Strunk. But I think this is premature at this point, given the talent level on the team.
Right. No, and I agree with you to a certain extent. All right, you're the owner. You're Amy. And you say, hey, we're going to rebuild, and we think we can still put together some pieces that can get us to the playoffs. That's what you sold to the owner. And then you come up like this. How do you feel as the owner? Because I think that's what happened. I said they should rebuild. They said we're retooling pretty much. So to me, then you sold that we can fix this.
Are we sure that that's what was sold, right? I mean, that's what they said publicly. We don't know what those internal conversations were.
Right. Well, we don't. But we can't pick and choose when we want to believe what they say to us publicly. I mean, I'm not saying you, but I'm just saying
I think Amy's obviously fed up. I think, and Amy made this statement when she fired John in December of last year, that good was not good enough, and she wanted the Titans to be great. And they're no longer even good, right? They've taken another step down. But I also think when Amy fired John in December, she made a commitment or made a statement that burden was on John Robinson's back. That was on him. And that Mike Vrabel was not the causation of where the Titans were. And so I think to hold Mike Vrabel accountable for failing to turn it around this quickly might be a bit premature. I think ownership in sports needs to be committed to direction and see direction through. And you see a guy like David Tepper in Carolina, who I think is exactly everything that sports ownership should not be. Where you are committed to, all right, we're going to bring in Frank Reich. We're going to go trade everything to go get that number 1 pick and go get Bryce Young. And then when things aren't going great because our roster's not all that good, we're going to fire the head coach, fire the quarterback coach. We're going to start just going all over the place. And now not only are you like having no direction as an organization, you're hurting the development of your young QB. That's what ownership shouldn't do. And I think when Amy fired John Robinson in December, it was a commitment to the direction of Mike Vrabel and Rand Carthon as the leaders. Doing it now after one season, knowing what was on the table for them, I think is a failure to see through the direction that you committed to. That's why I think it's premature. And so, I don't think Mike Vrabel's completely absolved of all blame. I think there's a lot of this that you can point to, and I do think there is a burden on Mike Vrabel to adapt in the future, to go to a new age modern offense, to change the way the Titans evaluate offensive linemen, the way they value positions, right? And not be so reliant on a running back to have 120 rushing yards to be competitive, and build a roster that suits a young quarterback like Will Levis. That is absolutely a burden that is on Mike Vrabel, And if he doesn't do it, he will get fired sooner rather than later. I don't think now is the time for that. I think he still deserves a chance to prove he's capable of doing so.
Sam Phalen.
Sam, if they look at the medicals this week from Will Levis and say, hey, man, we're going to have to set you down, whether it's 1 game or 2 games or 3 games, what do you think the next plan should be at quarterback? I know Vrabel didn't commit to anything today when asked about it.
Yeah, I think it probably should be Ryan Tannehill, which is odd to say. I think the question you have to ask if you're the Titans is like, how important are some of these reps to some of these players, and do you feel like they're formative reps if your quarterback cannot efficiently run the offense or give guys opportunities, right? Like, these games might not mean anything for a win, so it's not about winning the game, but it might be, hey, let's get Treylon Burks some opportunities to run some routes and catch some footballs and develop as a route runner. Let's get this offensive line some possibilities of, like, seeing fruits of their labor if they do protect a passer. And if you don't feel like Malik Willis is capable of running your offense in a way that gives those guys a chance to develop and a chance to be competitive, I think you have to play Ryan Tannehill. I do think it's also, like, maybe up to Ryan Tannehill about whether or not he wants to go back behind that offensive line right now with free agency coming. Maybe he could use it, right? A guy who's looking to establish some value and get that contract, play 3 good games here to end the year, and you might get yourself a couple $1 million. So I would go with Tannehill if it was up to me. The question I would ask is just how committed are you to winning and being competitive versus just development of the quarterback position?
Tajay Spears, should he be the number 1 feature back in these last 3 games?
I do think so. Yeah, I do think so. And I think this is going to be what we get next year. So might as well get a jump start on it and see what Tajay can do as your number 1 guy. I loved what I saw from him in the game in Miami, both as a pass catcher, which I was surprised they didn't do a ton of yesterday. So there you go, Blaine. There's another thing that, Tim Kelly probably should incorporate more is screens and pass plays to Tajay Spears. But, yeah, he continues to impress me with his ability to be that 3-down back, to make that first guy miss. We know he's a willing pass blocker. So I'd like to see more of Tajay Spears and give Titans fans a taste of where this run game could be headed next year.
Sam Phalen at Sam_Phalen, A to Z Sports, talking Titans.
Well, before we let you go, anything stand out in the presser today with Vrabel?
Man, it's very interesting. He kind of has this humility to him a little bit walking around at 5-9. He does seem a little, I would say, shell-shocked at just the idea of playing NFL football without the concept of, like, playing for the playoffs. Completely new to Mike Vrabel. This is the first time in his tenure as head coach that the Titans have been eliminated from playoff contention before the last game of the season. So I was really interested in hearing his perspective on, like, hey, how does he handle an injury when there's no playoffs to play for? How does he motivate his team when there's no playoffs to motivate him for? It seemed very new, very foreign to him. And so he's walking around with I think a little bit less arrogance, a little bit less swagger than he typically does. And I wonder how that translates into a locker room right now.
Sam, thanks for joining us on a busy day, man. Again, at Sam_Phalen. You can follow him on Twitter there or just any place that you want to consume A to Z Sports Nashville, all of his writing with he and the team over there. Thank you, sir. Have a good rest of your Monday.
Appreciate y'all. I'll see you later.
All right.
Appreciate it, Sam.
Sammy Phalen. When we come back, more of you. Phones are ringing. 615-737-1045. We'll continue to talk about the Titans' loss to the Texans and what things will look like going forward for this team for the last 3 games of this season. Blaine and Mickey, remember, take us anywhere you go. Just download that 1045 The Zone app. And, man, you can sit at the Christmas dinner table and listen to The Zone all day long. That's what you should do. Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. It was bad yesterday. Really, really bad. It was really, really bad. What's good is hearing from you guys and gals, though, and letting you get some things off your chest. Bill and Franklin will lead us off here as we have this final segment of the 1 o'clock hour. Bill, how you feeling today?
Hey, guys. How we doing?
Doing well.
What's going on, Bill?
Good. Two numbers really quickly that drive me and other Titan fans insane. The first is against backup quarterbacks in the last 63 games, the Tennessee Titans are 18-45.
Ooh,
And by the way, that's spanned 63 games. The next two teams are the Buccaneers and the Redskins, the Commanders, at 27 wins. So it's a 9-game drop from us to the next two.
Yikes.
The second is I know about Mike Vrabel. I know he's 5-16 in the last 21 games. I know that a lot of that can be blamed on injuries and yada yada. But guys, he's still 5-16 in the last 21 games, and if he loses the last 3, you can do the math. That's 5-19 over 24 games. How many head coaches keep their job at 5-19?
I don't think
I
there's been
appreciate
any.
it. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Here's the other thing. He's 0-7 in his last AFC South games, and they've got 2 more. That'd be 0-9 in your last 9 AFC. If they lose out, that means they'll lose again to the Texans and again to the Jags, right? So they'd be 0-9 in their last 9 AFC South games.
I mean, that's tough to hear. Just hearing that, man, made my
and again,
twitch.
I always pay attention to the things that you and Dyson have taught me. You build your team to win in division games.
Oh, no doubt.
Look at what the Texans did yesterday. They built the team and said, okay, we'll just stop Derrick Henry. We'll just stop him. He'll get nothing and see what you do then.
In his
Nothing.
first year as a coach.
D'Amico Ryans, man.
He's doing it.
Shout out to him and Steichen with the Colts. Everybody's 8-6 in the whole division. Everybody, like you said, Blaine, everybody's 8-6 except the team that plays across the Cumberland over there. Let's get Rico
Suave.
in Nashville.
Rico Suave.
Rico.
Hey, yes, sir.
What you got, man?
Hey, sir. I just wanted to speak to Mr. Blaine Bishop. I've been a fan of yours your whole career, and my only question is, if you were the owner of the Titans, would Tim Kelly be your offensive coordinator next year?
Appreciate the phone call, Rico.
Well, if I was the owner, I really don't think he's doing a horrible job. I just don't know the inner workings of how much Vrabel is a part of that equation. Because that's why I bring up always they have stints of good play calling, and then all of a sudden they kind of go into the dark. Let's run left, let's run right. Then third down, we throw the ball, and then they get after the quarterback, and it's, horrible. So I don't really believe that it's Tim Kelly. I think it's Vrabel, who wants to be a conservative, old school, run the football, let's protect the quarterback, and let's play good defense. That era has passed. That's my era. It's no longer. Now, I'm not to say that you can't win games running the football. I think that it has a great place, but we can't do either really well at this point in time. So they have to be real selective. I think the play caller has a tough job. Really with not a really good offensive line, first-year quarterback. It's tough. And then you got the head coach in your ear saying, let's run the football. So with all those dynamics, I can't say if it's Kelly, it's the players, or if it's Vrabel hand in there too. So I don't know. I right now, from my field, I think Tim Kelly has done a solid job overall all season. Did he have a bad day yesterday? Probably so. But you could say that the players did too. And as I said before, I think it's 50-50. They just, the offensive line. I mean, when I'm seeing Duncan and Skoronski get manhandled, I was kind of stunned with especially Skoronski, because he had thus far this year has, is up and down, but you could say he was solid. Mm-hmm. And you could see, this guy could be pretty good. Yesterday was not a good day. So, no, I would not fire him, and I would not force the head coach to fire him. One thing I would do if I'm an owner, I am not going to tell my head coach who to hire and fire.
Yeah.
That this is not what I'm going to do, because he has to feel comfortable with the coaches that he has. Now, if I say you must do this, then you're saying I want to fire you, because most head coaches having their contract, they can hire their own coach and fire their own coaches. And then basically you're forcing him to resign or get fired as the head coach. So no, I would not at this point in time.
Got hour number 2 coming up. Phone lines have been ringing. We'll have time to take your calls. We'll give our analysis of the game yesterday. Want to play some audio, too, coming up in the next hour from Mike Vrabel. I referenced it earlier, just about his stance on running the football and what he said in the press conference following the game yesterday. Not what he said today, what he said yesterday about the stance of this team and how they've won football games in the past. And my question for all of you would be, why does that matter today if you can't do it anymore? That might be my biggest question. But we'll hear from Mike Vrabel. We'll hear from you. Hour number 2 coming up, 615-737-1045. It is Blaine and Mickey on a Monday on 1045 The Zone.
For many of you who have lived here a long time, you already know Eurofix has been in Middle Tennessee area for your European car repair needs now for 24 years. We've all gotten to watch them grow. And I don't know about you, but I love watching a hometown business take off. Well, we're now proud to announce the 5th location in Mount Juliet for Eurofix on Mount Juliet Road, right across the street from Dairy Queen. And Eurofix can serve you in Franklin, Hundred Oaks, Murfreesboro, Belmead, and now Mount Juliet. Pretty cool getting to watch a small-town mechanic starting in the barn in his backyard of a single-wide trailer and now grow to 5 locations repairing thousands of cars each month. And at Eurofix, you get a 3-year nationwide warranty and a free loan of car with every repair appointment. And all you have to do is just give them a call at 844-EUROFIX. That's right, 844-EUROFIX, or you can just visit them online at myEurofix.com. That's myEurofix.com. But always don't blame it, Joe.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. How you feeling? How's everybody feel? Hey, man, Santa Claus is going to be here in a week.
Oh, I need him here today.
Y'all going to be opening presents. You'd be like on Christmas lunch by now, a week from today. People are down, man. It's like they got coal in their stocking already.
I have a message for Titans fans.
No, it's already ready from Whataburger.
Nice.
You got yours too, did you?
Oh, my Santa ornament?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I put it on my tree. And my wife said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm putting Santa on here."
My son took mine and put it somewhere. I don't know. He hoarded up everything I came home from the game with.
What'd you do?
I've got a message for Titans fans.
Is it from Santa?
No, it's from me about next week, about next Christmas. Whatever the Titans do on Sunday versus the Seahawks, do not let it ruin your Christmas.
Oh yes.
Don't be all pissy on Monday because the team that is just objectively really, really bad right now played really, really bad. Don't let it ruin your Christmas. That's my message.
Well,
that's a nice
at home,
message.
I know they're going to play hard, so that's for sure. They get to sleep in their own beds. They're waiting for Santa Claus to come down. As long as they put some cookies and milk out for him, he'll be all right. Yeah.
Leave a carrot for the reindeer.
Hopefully he brings a gift of a victory.
I think there's even more people now who flipped the switch to
the switch?
Victories don't matter anymore. Draft position.
So we ran a poll.
Well, what's
yesterday.
the latest on that? It started out really heavy of lose, and then it kind of ticked back a little bit.
So right now it's sitting at 1,247 votes. It's got a little 3.5 hours left if you want to go get it. At
Blaine and Mickey.
Exactly. Titans fans, what would you prefer the rest of the season now that the Titans have been eliminated from the playoffs? A, play for draft position. B, try and win more games. 67% or 2/3 want to play for draft position. 33% want to try and win more games.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always talked about how you tank, and the way you tank is to play backups. So if it was me, I don't know where Levis is, but I'm assuming that maybe he's nicked up where he can't beat Levis. All right? I'm assuming that for a couple weeks anyway. I'm starting Malik Willis. Guess what? If someone asked me if I was the owner, I would call down and say we're starting Malik Willis. And they go, but we're paying Tannehill $30 million. He will be the backup because he gives us a better shot of winning, and I'm not trying to win games. The season's over. No playoffs are at stake. So I want to see what we have in Willis to see if he can actually be a backup in this league. And Tannehill will be the backup. You need to sign a third-string quarterback, too, for practice squad.
Here's the thing. So I know when Levis first went in, everybody, all these Titans fans were calling in, no, we shouldn't play him. We should sit him.
No, I was all for it.
We should sit him behind this offensive line. Well, you still had a chance at the playoffs. Yes. Now that you're out of the playoffs and he is actually hurt, right. It's not just hey, I'm scared he's gonna get hurt. He is actually hurt. And per Mike Vrabel, it's an ankle injury similar to what Ryan Tannehill had last year, which kept him out for 2 games before he got hurt again and then kept him out for the season. If it's that bad, you do not want him. You want him ready to go for 2024. You want him, whatever they do in the offseason, whatever they do in the draft with the $90 million that they're going to have in cap space, you want him to be able to play with those weapons that they're going to add, and you don't want him to have to miss any part of the season because you wanted to hold your pride and try and win some more games. And I'm not saying you go out there and you just you run 3 times, you punt, and you get.
They're already doing that.
They're already doing that. But I'm saying you could go out there with Ryan Tannehill or Malik Willis, whatever you want. You can go out there. You could play a competitive football game. If you lose, you lose. If you win, you win. So be it. But there's no reason to get Will Levis any more injured than he already is. For pride.
At this point, especially he can't maneuver. If he can't, that's why I keep saying if Will Levis can't be Will Levis, then it's time to move on and just get him healthy. One thing people were saying earlier is that everybody's going to be out there playing because they're getting paid to play, a sport, but they get paid and they get evaluated not just by the Titans. Mm-hmm. So they have a lot to gain here with this experience that they can get. So, yeah, whether you're with the Titans or someone else. So I expect the effort and everything else to be the same regardless. It's just that they keep giving, like when I say they're giving some form of an effort, I'm talking about above and beyond at this point of time when your team that has nothing to play for. Guess what? Every player has something to play for because it's really about you as an individual and your pride in as a player, because either you're going to be in this league or you're going to get paid in this league, or you're going to be a starter or you're going to be a backup. So there is a lot. And by the way, if you don't have that personality, this is one thing that I will never sacrifice, then you shouldn't be on this team or any team. That right there, I don't think you can even play in this league without it. I don't care how talented you are.
And the amount of guys that the Titans have heading towards free agency or who are an undrafted free agent that are playing on one-year contracts or very, very minimum contracts, those guys have something to prove. You got to go out there and play hard and show not only show the Titans, but show possible other teams that, hey, I can be valuable. And so that's at least one reason to go out there and play hard.
So when he was talking about, what I'm getting to is when Sam was talking about motivation, how do you motivate your team without player? You shouldn't have to do any of that if you're a coach. They're self-motivated. How the heck do you think they got to this spot? Bro, if they're not motivated, I don't care about that. You better be motivated or you won't be here.
Right. I'll be motivated to let you leave.
Right. Yeah.
I'll be motivated to motivate you out the door.
Because they're going to see it on film. The eye in the sky never lies. Man, dude, when you turn on that thing, you better be running with your butt on fire. I don't care what position.
That question always comes up in the locker room, though, at the end of a bad season. Well, how are you guys going to stay motivated?
To me.
I scratch my head every time he gets asked.
Game. Matter of fact, I don't even want that guy, whether you're playing in the playoffs, I don't even want that guy on my team.
Yeah.
Period, if I'm a coach. I don't want guys like that. That's one thing I'm not sacrificing. I want a guy who believes they are winners, and when they step on the field and the coin toss go and the whistle blow, we going balls to the wall every time.
If you ain't going to play for yourself, how are you going to expect people to play for a team?
Yeah. Dude, ultimately, it comes down to who you are.
Hey, man, you're at this level.
Dude, it would irritate me like, what? You just gonna half-heartedly run with that? Oh, you better be at practice, because it better not be in no game. Yeah, Mixer. You've been around a lot of athletes now. Oh, man.
I always tell people this. Anytime you call somebody a bum or you say they're not
they're
not good, they're sorry, they're unmotivated, they're hot, I would just challenge you. I would just challenge you this, because I get 2 ping pong paddles and a ping pong ball and challenge that person to a game of ping pong, and they will die trying to beat you.
Yeah.
Right.
And everything they do, they can't stop themselves.
They can't stop. If you said, let's see who can eat the most fudge, you better be prepared to barf, because that guy's going. Those people are competitive in ways that the rest of us can't fathom. And the kid who was the quarterback at Arkansas State for 3 of the years that I was around there is a guy named Ryan Apple, and he's a coach now in Georgia Southern staff. One day, he's the nicest person I've ever met. But one day I was watching them play pool in the lounge. That dude turned into another human being. Afterwards, I'm like, hey, man.
You are?
Who are you? And he goes, oh, man, I don't like to lose.
Uh-huh.
I said at pool, he goes, I don't lose at anything. And this is like, I would let him babysit my children. He was a different person. You don't get to that level unless you're like that. You can't.
It's almost impossible. You wouldn't make it.
No. You can't make it. You got to be so hyper competitive. I don't care if you're playing jacks or poker, or I don't care what it is.
Now, unless you're just so super talented, but eventually it'll catch up to you, because the dude who's not as talented as you and everybody on the team knows it, and he beats you across from you, and they're going to be like, well, what the heck? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the dude who's nowhere near you as far as your athleticism, you can't let that happen. Maybe on one play, but not during the game. And watch this. I wonder if Andre Dill is super competitive. You think he is? I would say he wouldn't be able to get to this far.
He's got to be. I mean,
and the way he moves, my thing would be like, we're going to get a basketball, you and me. We're going to go play basketball against each other. I bet that dude would try to kill you to beat you in basketball.
Should play him in basketball. Yeah, they should go play
and say, hey man, this is what I need all the time.
And watch what happen. He'd be like, oh man, Ray, don't be trying to like that, man. Come on, bro, your time is past. They kept showing him on the sideline. When I'm going back and watch the game, I'm like, they could have put Dillard in as bad as this was going. Nope. We're going to continue to evaluate our future. Because guess what, Dillard? You are not part of our future.
He is not.
Didn't he get a 2-year deal?
Yeah.
He did.
They could axe him.
No,
so
he
they're going to cut him?
Bananas,
Yeah.
I think he got I think he got a 3-year deal.
I'm going to look this up.
I think they can get out of it after
Our
1 year,
crack
though,
research-
without too much.
Well, they got cap space to either eat dead cap or pay people real money. So I don't think the dead cap hit is just terrible for him, but I think he signed a 3-year deal.
So it's 3 years worth base salary of $29 million. $13 million of that is guaranteed. $10 million is fully guaranteed. He had a $5.9 million signing bonus. They did add 2 void years to Dillard's deal, which helped lower his 2023 cap hit to $2.5 million.
Now, when you cut somebody, though, ahead of time, all that comes the bill comes due, all of it,
Oh, my.
Well, good thing they got $90 million to play with.
I don't know. I think a lot of people think that's a lot of moolah to get players. That may be 2 players. See what I'm getting at? If it's the 2 right players, because that means they had to pay some dough.
Well, you're right earlier, though. They're going to have to draft the left tackle. The left tackle is going to be a rookie next year.
It better be the best. That's why I said I'm Malik Willis starting. That's how you tank.
Do you Bengals it, though, and just say, screw them picks, man. We're going to take the best receiver. Then we'll take. Yeah.
I know.
Screw that, man. We're going to take more weapons.
All right, here's the question. Do you think you have better odds of getting your old tackle, left tackle in the second round, or your wide receiver? What are the shots you got hitting home on the second round than if you did it in the first round? I think theoretically you can get a good receiver in the second round. I know I'm getting a stud in the first round with offensive tackle. Second round, it still could be.
They drafted A.J. Brown in the second round.
Yeah, right. See, now you got to get lucky and get the right one. But yeah,
the only thing that terrifies me is what if you found the second coming of Panda or Dillard in the first round? Both of those guys have come through town here.
I know. See, you can't let past experiences make you fear. No different than like when we signed D-Hop, and I said he wasn't like the past.
He's not like
old
the past
receivers that we've signed.
Now here's where I'll go with that.
Got to trust in your scouting department. Yeah. That's what you really got.
The wide receiver class this year is pretty deep.
See, second round.
You're also gonna have a couple free agent wide receivers. One over there in Cincinnati. That may or may not be from this area. I'm not gonna speculate anything. But you're not getting an offensive tackle in free agency. You're just not.
Nobody's gonna ever let
I'm
that
sorry,
happen.
you're just not, because there's nobody.
No,
out
they
there.
got to draft him.
That's not in his franchise tag. You're not gonna get that guy.
That's the thing that's got to be organic. You got to go. You got to go and plant the tree and water it and watch it grow.
Unless you're guaranteed like a top 3 pick, where you're getting Marvin Harrison Jr. guaranteed, like no question. You have to go offensive tackle.
All right, we got to go. I don't know about to offensive tackle, but phone lines are just about full, 615-737-1045. We got to give our ding-dongs of the week next. We'll do that. We'll get into ding-dong. We'll take your calls. We'll hear from Mike Vrabel. We'll do it all. It's a Monday. We got lots to get to. We'll do that coming up on Blaine and Mickey. Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. Ring a ding, ding, dong. Time for ding dong of the week. A lot of candidates for that, by the way. These candidates aplenty for ding dong of the week. I don't know if this is ding dongery, but Old Dominion is running Western Kentucky out of the building in this famous Toaster Bowl that's going on right now.
These bowl games, man. 27-0 in the second quarter.
Yeah, second quarter just started. Yeesh.
Yeah, before we start ding dong, you want to take this last call from Tim?
I do. Let's take Tim's call. Tim, you can drop a ding dong in here if you want to, or you can just tell us what you think is going on, man. What's up?
All right, thank you for taking my call, though. My ding dong is for the Skaronski and Duncan, though. I want to ask you guys, okay, when one of those plays, when that defensive lineman busted straight through them two guys, neither one of them turned around to see where the guy went to.
That's what I said. Yeah. It's almost like they anticipated that one of them was going to block them.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. I don't know whether they thought the running back was supposed to get him, but neither one of them, would that just be coaching? Would somebody say, hey, did they communicate with each other? Like, I'm going to chip him for you, and you just hold him up, but I'm going to slow him down for you, and then but neither one of them turned around to even see where the guy went to. So I ding dong for those guys right there, though, or the coaches or whoever.
Tim, I appreciate the phone call. Joseph showed me that video. A guy.
I saw it.
They double team the guy. For anybody who didn't see it, they double team the guy, and basically they each get one shoulder pad on either side of him, and he just bursts between them and goes and smashes Derrick Henry, and those two just keep going about their business. Like, neither one even turned around like, oh, my bad. They just go on and look for one.
Oh, did I miss that block? No.
Nope.
It's like, I don't know if they thought one of the other guy was going to get him. And then that guy hints to smash Derrick Henry.
That's another 3-yard loss.
I was like, oh, my God, nobody could have. Barry Sanders might have got tackled right there, even with the spin move. I mean, come on, man. I was like, oh, man. I can't wait to see the grades here of the offense. I see the highest offensive grades here with Moore 82.9, Conquo 72, Radin 71, Levis 70, and NWI 68 are the top 5 offensive grades. See that? And a lot of people thought Radins didn't play well. 71%.
He didn't false start.
I meant to mention that in the beginning. Oh, I was so thankful. Not only him, but nobody did. Yes, that is awesome.
See?
We're making strides here.
Always a silver lining.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Mark Spain.
Eric got dinged up.
We'll get Eric. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing, or as we like to say, don't be a ding-dong. Use Mark Spain.
I'm a ding-dong. I'm going to say I'm a ding-dong because I predicted it. Every time I predict the Titans going to win, they lose. Yeah, I'm a ding-dong. People told me, and I didn't believe them. They're right.
Eric,
I'm a ding-dong.
Eric, are we ding-dongs, man? What's your ding-dong?
No, you're not. No, you're good, guys. And, guys, first of all, before I get on, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas because I probably won't call you until after the Christmas holidays again, so next Monday's Christmas. But, guys, so tonight the Los Angeles Lakers are playing against the New York Knicks. And guess what? Before the game, they're going to raise the banner for winning that mid-season tournament with the trophy and everything. Got big payday for that. People are saying, well, what's wrong with that? The game that they won over the Indiana Pacers does not even count in the standings. So what sense does that make? You're raising basically a banner and celebrating the trophy that doesn't even count, guys. And the bad thing is, what it makes it, guys? It makes it a participation trophy. So we're doing this now. Guys, that is so insane. Guys, that's my ding-dong. Y'all take care, and we'll talk to you again soon.
The NBA will at least try anything.
Oh, yeah. I got to give them A for effort.
We'll paint the court every color in the world and play a tournament on it. We don't care.
Lakers, they better not hang a banner.
I was okay. Am I the only one that was just like absolutely like I understand it now that I've gone and like done some research about it, but when they first came out, I was really confused on how this was going to work.
I didn't know what
with,
it was.
Like regular season games, and I was like, so some teams are going to play more regular season games than the other, and I was real confused. And then I had Lucas kind of explain it to me, like it's like soccer when like Nashville SC went and played in that tournament over the summer, and yeah, they're going to play more games, but I was a little confused.
I don't think they did a great job at selling it and marketing it the way they should have. But I think they were just trying to get some attention during football time. So they try to, but yeah, hey, Give them A for effort. But, yep, they're on the ding-dong list. Hey, man, I got a real good with ding-dong right here. I got to say this. My man, Philly Mike, he texts me. He says, man, Texans radio broadcasters. The play-by-play guy, Andre Ware, we all know who he is, right? Well, Bananas may not, a quarterback for Houston back in the day, right?
He won the Heisman before Bananas was alive.
Color analyst saying after the winning field goal, goodbye and take those uniforms off and pack them up and bring them back to Houston. That was a little overboard. But good Lord Almighty, come on, man.
I read the transcript. We get transcripts from all the interviews from both sides after some games even. So we got transcripts from the Houston interviews as well from the locker room. I don't know how we get them, but we got them.
Okay.
Every player for the Texans, the first thing they asked them is, how mad are you about those uniforms? How do you think you should have those uniforms? To a man, even D'Amico Ryans, who's the only guy old enough to even remember that being a thing because he's the coach. Players are too young to even remember anything about the Tennessee or Houston Oilers. To a man, all of them said,
that's because the media wrote it all week.
It's all a media creation. The players are like, we just wanted to win the game, man. They're a good team. D'Amico Ryan said, they work hard. That's a good team. We just wanted to win the game. I don't care what all of them. So then there'd be a follow-up question. But you're really not mad about it? No, I'm not mad about it. We won the game. We're happy. We won.
Mm-hmm.
Even the players didn't care.
Yeah, the players don't care.
Would the Texans probably like to have better uniforms? Yeah, sure. But let's be honest, none of them care. They just want to go out there and make their money, win their football games, continue to improve every week.
They're
and that's
8-6.
Exactly what they're doing. They're headed. They're close to the playoffs, man.
They beat the Titans with Case Keenum yesterday.
I don't think they care about what they're wearing.
They could care less. LG and the Burrows got a ding dong. LG could care about this ding dong of the week segment. Hey, LG,
it's the left guard.
Life's good.
This is Skorotsky.
Hey, guys,
hey,
how you doing?
Doing well.
Good, man.
Hang on one second. Hang on one second.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll just hang tight right here.
We're not doing anything.
We'll just hang a ding dong tight right here, and then we'll just wait for
I'm
you.
the ding dong. I'm the ding dong. Hey, who was the dude, special teamer that held on that punt? I don't know if anybody's brought that up.
I brought it up. JoJo Doman.
Yeah, they just signed him.
They just signed him this week.
You got to know the situation is, look, even if it's a fair catch, you're going to get it about midfield, and one first down or two, you kick in the winning field goal, and you can't hold on that. You just can't. I know that's one play in a game of a lot of ding-dongs, but that one stood out to me. I don't know if anybody's mentioned that one yet.
No, I mentioned. Hey, I mentioned it.
Yeah.
It stood out to me. Special teams made some key mistakes yesterday, and that may have been the most key of all. They went from the 46 of Houston back to their own 37.
Yeah, that was.
And then went nowhere. Then went backwards on 3 plays and watched quarterback get folded like a card table.
I like this ding dong that Tyler Dial gave in the F&M Bank Chat. It goes to the North Dakota State University versus Oak Hill Christian basketball game. Did you guys see this? The final score, 108-14.
They must have had me and Mickey on their team.
I watched the highlights from this game because I think one of the ESPN or CBS put it on Twitter and Instagram. Oh my! It looked like a bunch of dudes who would go run at the YMCA once a week was out there playing a D1 basketball team. It was horrendous. 108-14 in a college basketball game. Who schedules that?
I mean, I know you want to get tuned up for the conference season, but boy, you get tuned up. You're breaking people's spirits with something like that.
Oh, man.
If anybody's from Ole Miss, they have a guy who's he may still be the all-time leading scorer for basketball, a guy named Joe Harvell. He went to Gosnell High School, which is near my high school. They had 3 guys who played college basketball on their team. We had one person on our team who was over 6 feet tall, and he wasn't the postman. Our postman was 6 feet tall, but we had only one guy who was over that. We went and played them, and they shut us out in the first half in a basketball game.
When you say shut out, you mean you didn't score a point?
No. My friend who was the center who had a broken leg from football, that had just healed up enough for him to play. In the second half, either me or one of the guards threw him one inside, and he tripped and just threw the ball up in the air, and it went in the basket. That's our first basket. They gave us a standing ovation. Their side did.
You were playing them at their house?
Yes, there was no shot clock. So we just took the ball and dribbled the ball in the corner until someone would come out and guard one of us. And then we would. But we got shut out.
So you got shut out too, Mickey?
Oh, yeah, I was part of that.
So I'm saying you just scored up?
No, 100%. I was shut out that night. I may have had that assist on the play where he fell down there. But Joe Harvell was on the team. He was a 6'4" guard, and we didn't have anybody 6'4" on our team. We had a 6-foot center with a broken leg. So I feel for whoever they just pasted in that game.
Oh, I saw somebody on here on the chat say, sell the uniform rights to the no.
I know.
To the Texans to help then pay for the stadium, the new stadium we're going to have here. And I don't think that's on the table, but it's kind of interesting thought process. That's how they had to go into the really deep thinking on that one.
Let's get Joe in Rivergate. Joe, how you doing, man? You guys had a little storm action up that way. Hope you're doing okay.
Yeah, we're all doing well. Thank you for that. My ding dong is the official on the punt we had where our guy was hit going out of bounds. That was pitiful.
Oh, yeah. That
Gary.
was pitiful no call.
Yeah, oh, not Gary. Kinsey, yeah.
Kinsey.
That would have put us around the 40-yard line with a chance to go win the football game.
100%, Joe. He had 2 feet in the paint when he got hit.
And he was being held by another Texans player.
Yeah. That was
up. Yeah. They bamboozled him. Yeah, he went to the sideline. I thought he was about to throw himself, but he just banged it on the ground. I was like, whoa. Ooh, he was hot because he was like, hey, man, that was late.
That gets
can't
called
get no home cooking nowhere.
That gets called 9.9 out of 10 times.
Oh, in today's NFL? Yeah.
And they just let him get whacked.
See, we don't get no breaks.
Oh, 0 breaks. None. Steve in the Borough, I think, has some more on this crazy basketball game that has drawn some ding-dongery from everybody. What's up, Steve?
Yeah, I just wanted to remind your producer there, I think he's a UT grad.
Yep.
Back in 1973, I was a freshman at the University of Tennessee, and we had a basketball game that the final score was 11-7 versus Temple.
I hope y'all won, right?
I don't think so. Nobody was at nobody was at the game. Yeah, and they basically ruined my love of Tennessee basketball because it was so bad back then. I'm from Clarksville, and I used to take the bus back home and watch Austin Peay play instead of watching UT play basketball.
1973?
I'll hang up and listen.
Well, that's when Fly was there, right? At that point at Austin Peay.
Yeah, Fly was there about that time. So, yeah, it was more exciting to watch Fly Williams play versus watching UT really suck.
Well, 11-7. That pre-shot clock era could be super brutal in games.
Oh, You looked that up? Is that true?
I did not look it up. I will. But I'm glad, if that is true, I'm glad I'm living in today's
it's just
modern,
like watching paint dry, man, with no shot clock, man.
Speaking of Tennessee basketball, big win Saturday night over NC State. Down in San Antonio, why
they play that game so late?
Nobody in the stands. They were in an NBA arena, and there was probably 20 people there. It looked like the halftime of the Falcons-Panthers game.
Heaven help that deal. They should have gone to every boys and girls club in Charlotte and said, just get a bus and bring them all down here. We're just going to let them in. Let them see pro football, even if it's this. Give them the experience.
Hey, the Panthers won. It would have been a home win.
Poor Arthur, man.
Oh, yeah, they lost. Oh, man, Ritter threw that interception what was he thinking? Just throw the ball out of bounds.
A field goal would have won that game.
Right. They were in field goal range.
Yep.
There's plenty of Titan ding-dongs that people have brought up today and in the F&M Bank chat and everywhere else, but that was ding-dongery of the highest accord. You can't lose in front of 117 people in a stadium when essentially all you have to do is just run the clock. Just don't hand them the ball. And they did. They handed them the ball.
That's just, and Vrabel sitting there listening to us and say, this is why I don't throw the ball.
Boy, if they just run it 3 times. See, we're on to something here.
Yeah, even if we're getting -2 yards on first down runs.
All right, let's take this call from Steve. He wants to motivate the Titans. There's another Steve. It's Steve Day here on Blaine and Mickey.
Motivate the O-line?
Yeah,
Come on,
Steve, help us out here.
Yeah, man, dang, we need some help with that.
Hey, I have a suggestion for that, but I'll touch on that Tennessee 11-7 game in '73. It was against Temple, and Temple was refusing to, or Tennessee coach Ray Mears, who was the coach then, was refusing to come out of the zone and play a man-to-man, and it was a battle of stubborn wills. And I will tell you, Coach Ray could be as stubborn as anybody. So they both just sat on it. Tennessee ended up winning 11-7. There was no shot clock then, but keep in mind, 2 years later, the Ernie and Bernie show started, and there wasn't a shot clock needed.
Whoa!
Oh, he
hung up on himself.
Yeah,
that was me. I pressed the wrong button.
Joseph.
I'm sorry, Steve. Please call back. I want to finish the rest of your story. I was trying to answer another
just
call.
Straight leg whipped you.
I will correct him on one thing. The score was 11-6. I did look it up.
Yeah, here's multiple stories about this.
Steve,
Tennessee beat Temple 11-6 in the lowest scoring college basketball game in NCAA history.
Dang. Is that him calling right now?
December 16th, what's today? It's December 16th, 1973.
No, today's the 18th?
It's the 18th. So that was literally, today's almost the anniversary of that game.
It would have been crazy if it was actually the anniversary.
If that had happened, we may need to find somebody put on the phone about that game just to get the true account of it now.
Oh, man.
All right, Joseph's answering the phone. We got to come back. Joseph scouted out and charted all the first downs. We need to go through his stats. Let's go through the Joseph first down stats when we come back. We can play the Mike Vrabel audio tomorrow. He won't speak again. We can play that. But you have to hear Joseph first down stat chart next. Also, we'll take all the calls we have time to call. We'll do it all on Blaine and Mickey. Remember, if you're missing the show or you hear something you like, you want to hear it again, hey, any place that you get your favorite podcasts, go and subscribe to the Blaine and Mickey Show, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all podcasting platforms. We are available 24/7 there.
Ritter's benched. While you've been patiently preparing for cooler overnight temps, your home's heating system may need some prep of its own. That's where my friends at Cool Ray can come in. They're hard at work preparing thousands of Tennessee residents for the cool down with a $49 furnace tune-up. So think of your furnace tune-up like maintenance on your vehicle. We all know what can go wrong if you neglect that, right? And if this is the year you finally need to fully replace your home's heating and cooling system, Cool Ray is armed and ready with same-day or next-day installation available on brand-new TempStar home comfort systems. Plus, they boost the 10-year parts and labor warranty on the new unit. And with the holidays just around the corner, remember some important holiday tips from your friends at Cool Ray. Like, don't put a live or artificial tree near a heating vent to keep your family home safe during the holidays. So schedule your $49 tune-up or any heating, cooling, plumbing, or electrical related by visiting coolray.com. No phone call, no wait, no worries. You pick the date and time that works for you. That's coolray.com.
Life is busy. We could all use some extra time in our day, which is exactly why Two Rivers Ford offers mobile service. We'll bring the service to your driveway at no additional charge. Oil changes, brakes, batteries, the certified technicians at Two Rivers will perform basic maintenance on your vehicle wherever you are, so you'll have more time. for moments like this. Schedule your mobile service appointment by scanning the QR code or calling Two Rivers Ford today.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. Bananas, let's get to this. You charted the first down plays. We can get more into this tomorrow because I'd like to. We got Steve who called back and a couple other folks. Let's get to these. But if people want to hear this is the play calling definition of banging your head into a brick wall over and over.
So in the first quarter, it was a pass to Henry for 3 yards, a run up the middle to Henry for 2, a run to Henry for -3, a run for Henry for 0, a run for Spears for 1, a pass to Burks for 20.
Yeah.
Then a run for Spears for -5.
Okay.
Those are all the first down plays in the first quarter. In the second quarter, they only had 2 first down plays, a run to Henry for 5, and a pass to Henry for -3. In the third quarter, run for Henry -2, run for Henry 2, run for Henry -7, run for Henry 2, pass for Henry 2. Fourth quarter, run for Henry 3, pass for Burks for 5, run to Henry for 1, run with Burks for 2 on an end around, a run up run for Henry up the middle, and the King Cat for 0, and a pass to Chris Moore that was incomplete. Overtime, a pass that resulted in a sack, a run for Henry for -3, a pass that ended up in a Levis scramble for 9, and a pass to Hopkins that was incomplete.
You said Henry got the ball in 63% of the first down plays, 50% of the time he was running.
They passed the ball downfield 5 times. They went 1 of 3 for 20 yards. They had 1 sack and a scramble for 9 yards. 34 total yards gained on 24 first downs in that game yesterday. That's just awful.
That's
in the first half,
1 point something yards average on first down.
In the first half, they ran the ball 6 times on first down for 0 yards. In the second half in overtime, they ran the ball 9 times on first down for -2 yards. 0 change, 0 adjustments, 0 success in terms of that specific type of play.
If you take out the Burks play, what'd you say? It was 24 for 34? If you take out the Burks play, that's 23 for 14.
Yep, 14 yards and 23 plays. And if you take out the Levis scramble in overtime, take out another 9. So it's 22 plays on 5 yards.
5 yards. Boy, it was hard to look at. It was hard to look at.
But they had to do that to protect the quarterback.
Yeah, they had to establish the run.
I went back because
did you play the presser or that? What did he say? That's what we're supposed to do. We run out of time.
Now, do you have that? Can you play it? Because we said we were going to play it. We'll play it again tomorrow. I promise. We'll do our best on phone call. But this was the whole thing about establishing the run.
Probably looking back. I mean, we'll watch the tape and we'll be able to see, but, maybe some missed tackles and.
Yes. You should have.
Misfits or just probably usually missed tackles. And, we'll have to do a better job there, but, I feel like we're able to get, some really great stops throughout the day. Don't want to give up those type of rushing yards, but I give those guys a lot of credit defensively for us that we did a good job on third down. Got a huge stop there at the end of half, so we'll have to fix and assess the run game, but also recognize that we did some really good things defensively as well.
Okay, this is the part here.
Did you guys continue to feed him the ball when he's averaging under a yard?
Well, we have to be able to establish a run, whether that's with Derek, whether that's Tajay, whether that's Jonathan Ward, and so
he named Ward, who we've
won a lot of football games, with that formula, and we've seen where it's been, some inefficient runs, and then we break one and turn things around, and that didn't happen today.
So there was a whole bunch of stuff about defense before we got to the offense, but that'd be essentially like saying, "Look, man, I got the best snow plow in Colorado. I've plowed all the snow that there is to plow. No one's plowed more snow than me." And then somebody pointing out, like, "You don't have any tires on your truck right now."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I've plowed a lot of snow with this truck. There's no tires on the truck.
So I knew that this conversation was going to come up. So I looked at what they did versus Miami on Monday Night Football. 31 first down plays they had in that game. Henry got the ball just 9 times. They ran the ball 14 times and passed it 17 times. There in that fourth quarter, when they were down, pass, run, pass, run, kneel down.
You just made Blaine's argument. All right.
That's what you use him for. Man, now he's oh, man. This oh, man. Let me get me going.
Okay.
I'm trying to have a good day today.
Let's let Steve finish his thought. Hey, Steve, sorry things went haywire.
No worries. My offensive line motivator, and y'all were talking earlier about how these guys are all competitive at this level, but they're clearly not motivated. So one tongue-in-cheek idea to motivate them, if you miss a block, you either play running back or quarterback now for the rest of that series.
I love it.
And after you get off injured reserve, maybe you'll block better.
Yeah. Thank you, Steve.
They used to do stuff like this at practice, man. All right, now. Especially with that Skoronsky and Duncan, and they didn't even look back like one of them messed up. Like, dude, you play running back.
They just kept on trucking.
You know what I think they could do?
What's that?
Make them.
You got to run a lap.
All right, John in Nashville. Hey, man, give us like 20 seconds, buddy. We're up against it. Thanks for calling.
If not, you got to run a lap.
Yeah.
John!
Hello?
Oh,
okay.
You almost ran a lap. Go, John.
Hey, real quick, what you got,
Hey there,
buddy?
sorry. My dad was talking about football, and, we're talking football. I get a little distracted. I love talking football. But I wanted to call in and ask you guys, everybody's on Vrabel's case, okay? I understand. He's 5-19, and I like Vrabel. I mean,
I like Vrabel, too. He's a good coach.
Belichick tree. No, I'm getting there. I got you. Comes from that beautiful Belichick tree that Tom Brady planted and grew all on his own. But at the end of the day, if we are to fire Vrabel, because everybody likes to talk about that when somebody's doing bad, who are we going to get that we're all excited about? Because I'm sitting here thinking the worst of the worst is like Frank Wright or somebody like that, and nobody wants that guy. So who do we get that makes us all excited?
It's only 32 of them.
It's
only 32 jobs, so you'll get somebody because somebody going to want it. So, I mean, you can't fear moving forward because who we going to get. Please. There's quality coaches out there all over the place. So, yeah. Keep it moving.
Can't operate with fear, my friend.
No, you cannot.
Cannot.
No. Well, we wouldn't have never signed D-Hop. Fear all the horrible old school receivers when they never work out here. We can't do it.
Missed too many games.
No.
Yeah.
D-Hop pretty good. He's one of the best players on the team.
About to have 1,000 yards. With this offense, think about that.
Oh, wow.
Think about 3HL because they're coming up next, though.
But in the meantime.
In between time.
Peace.